reason why we're on this boat and why you're saying bay, right? You said Chesapeake, the bay, because this Patapsco River connects to Chesapeake Bay, and that's who Foster and I work for, is the Chesapeake Bay Foundation. And try to figure out how many different types of animals are around here. Yes, use these books. They're for you to use. You can explore the boat, hang out, take pictures, talk to the video man, whatever you want to do. Well, not whatever, you know, within the safety limitations. No get on the roof. But we're here together to learn and just have a really great day. And I'm so happy that you all are willing to come out on a Saturday to have fun with us out in the Patapsco.
Well, at first we thought it was an otter. It was a nutria.
Yeah, they have kind of like that.
Oh, she was that? Okay.
After on the boat one day.
Oh my God, yes you can.
So anyways, it wasn't.
Lizzie, look, it says believe it or not. I can see a guy wearing a green t-shirt and a green baseball cap.
What you have in your hands are related to those things over there in some way. Those are floating wetlands. Floating wetlands. So try to connect what you have in your hands to what's over there.
That soaks up.
What do you think?
So what do you think?
Stuff. It soaks up stuff.
What else is a sponge used for in the kitchen?
Clean.
Maybe those wetlands actually help to clean the water some. What about this pacifier? That's kind of a wacky thing to have. And adults, feel free to chime in too.
Babies.
Babies, what about babies?
What do they do with a pacifier?
They suck on it, but I bet you that's a nursery for.
Yes, exactly. It's one of the positive things that we'll see throughout the day that people are trying to do to make this water
Really, that's
cleaner.
something you can share in class.
Oh, thank you very much.
You see any ducks? Yeah, they're right there.
What are those birds?
Yeah.
Duck that?
What are those birds?
I think they do.
Which way is north?
Where's the
This way?
Use this.
Yeah, you see the little compass thing?
Never
There's
eat
the
soggy
compass.
waffles.
There you, was it?
Never eat soggy waffles. That's how I remember.
Ooh, mine was never eat slimy worms. I like soggy
That's a
waffles.
never eat.
That is cool.
Never eat.
Slimy worm.
Never eat soggy wheat.
Soggy wheat.
That's
soggy.
Dr. Seuss thing.
I like it. So
Soggy.
this way's north, okay?
Say south.
And this way's south. And then this way is,
East. No, west.
and that way's
East.
okay, cool. So okay, so we know the direction. Is our chart facing the right way then? That's what we need to find out next.
Nita?
I don't think so.
Which
Wait.
way does the sun rise? Which direction does the sun rise in?
East.
In the east. So where's the sun now? Let's see.
West, I think.
About there is the sun.
Then.
So it probably came up from over this way. So is our map facing the right way?
No.
Sort of. You just have to turn a little.
Yeah, it's pretty close. I mean, yeah.
That's probably it there.
There you go. Okay, great. So our map's facing the right way. What is something else you would want to know if you're going on a boat in a waterway? What's that?
The weather.
Ooh, good one. The weather. Foster, did you check the weather today?
I sure did. I check the weather a lot, like several times every single
So
day.
how hot is it?
How hot do you think it is?
70.
Pretty good. Yeah,
perfect.
it's about there. It's
78.
building. I think it's supposed to get to the low 80s today. What about the wind? Is it really windy?
No.
No, it might get a little bit windier.
A little bit.
A little bit of a breeze. It's just enough to feel really nice.
Yeah. Okay, so that's really good. So we know the weather. We know the direction. What about...
How deep is the water?
Ah, yes. Okay, so this boat
How
needs at least 6 feet to float. So there needs to be 6 feet of water underneath our boat. So look at this chart here. And let's figure out how we would find that out. How can we figure out the depth of the water?
Is it 20? Oh, right there. It says 5
What's it say?
feet, I think. That 5 feet.
Oh, that's actually, very good. So these things, these little red and green things, those are the channel markers. If you look out here, does everybody see these green and red things out there?
Oh, yeah.
That shows us where the deeper water is. So with that in mind, if the deeper water is between those markers, where is the deepest water on here? What color is the deep water? Is it white or blue? What color is the deep water?
Blue. No, white.
It is white. So check it out.
I see all these numbers in all these areas on the...
All those are the depth in feet.
Cool.
So look over here. 1 foot, 2 foot, really shallow.
Ooh.
Over here it's a little deeper. And out here there's no numbers at all. That means it's 50 feet or more.
Oh.
So it's really deep out here. And if you look at this, what does it look like? What shape does it look like?
Road.
Yes! These are the big roads for the boats out here. So, we just figured out where we started today. We figured out what this map kind of shows us. Where are we now, though, is a good question. Where are we now? Today, we are going to be going out. We'll just stop and do things along the way. We'll get past Fort McHenry, then we'll pick up some speed.
Yeah, so then we're in.
Woo! Yeah. We'll head out to our oystering spot around Fort Carroll.
And then
We'll most likely, depending on what Foster and I think, we'll most likely go fishing here.
yes, with fishing rods.
Not with fishing rods. What are we going to use, Foster?
Well, we have a big net because if we pulled out 20-some fishing rods, some of them would get hooked in the face.
Yeah.
That's right.
So we have a big
That's
net.
the way they originally used to fish anyway.
And then we'll head back in. Hey, everybody, we're just going to do the boat back some, and then we're going to share your name, and then I want you to think about one thing you've done in the last 24 hours to have an effect on the Chesapeake Bay.
I just saw that one.
It might give you some ideas about what you've done to have an effect on the water around you in your everyday life.
I'm not sure if this matters. I poured some cereal milk down the drain in my sink. Is that?
Okay, that is really good, Lizzie. Lizzie, right? So she poured milk down her drain. Where does it go once it leaves her house?
Sewer.
Yeah, it goes, unless she's on septic. Do you know if you're on city water or septic? City. So your water goes, eventually all that milk or whatever, goes to a wastewater treatment plant. And that's where they clean it in these big vats.
50% of our electricity comes from burning coal. And I recently learned that 1/4 of the bay's pollutants come from the atmosphere.
Huh.
So, who knew? Turning the lights off a little bit, turning down your AC can affect the Chesapeake Bay.
That's a good one. And most people don't think about the air as being a source of pollution to the bay, but it is about 1/4 of our nutrients are coming from that. So we'll actually see a power plant today where some of the energy that you all get probably comes from. We'll see one of those today. I'm always like, oh, I forgot to get this. I'll just drive to the grocery store. There you go.
Well, I know we're kind of over right here, somewhere like that.
Yeah,
And
what-
then Washington's right here.
Yeah, exactly. So this is Baltimore, Washington, D.C. These are all the hard surfaces that water just runs off and picks up pollution like you guys were just saying. So when we have a season with a lot of rain, it tends to not be great for the Chesapeake Bay. Drought years are better for the bay because less pollution is coming off the land. That's not really something we can control, but that's just something to think about is that the bay is so dynamic and there's so many things that affect it. Rainfall can affect it. The land use, how we're using it, can affect it. I know you all have probably heard about the rain tax as being something that everybody's trying to fight against or trying to figure out how can we make this work.
Not a rain tax. It's a stormwater management fee.
I like. Okay, so exactly. That's what we're trying to tell people is that it's a stormwater management fee. There's other states that already have it.
Yeah, Jocelyn, it's a stormwater.
Hey, I'm just speaking the lingo of the people. You know, Foster.
SMF.
SMF. There you go. We'll shorten it up.
Right.
So, exactly. So we're trying to figure out how to stop the water, how to slow it down, how to let the land absorb it, how to clean it before it gets into our waterways. What's the first one that came up? There it is. Right?
Double-crested coramoran.
Double-crested cormorant. And you can kind of scroll for the pictures and make sure it's the one that you...
What's that called?
It's called Merlin, like the Merlin magician, Merlin bird ID. So there you go. Double-crested cormorant, everybody. Oh, thank you, dear.
They do that like in the Mississippi Delta, I think.
Right, yes, there are problems, yeah, in the inlands. Right,
Right,
yes,
so
they're
they're
trying to
like-
find ways to
And then,
I think they're also trying to use the fur, too.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Everybody come on back this way, check it out.
this river was plagued with so much trash. I would cross over this bridge on my way to work, and I would just see those orange things there be covered with trash and trash and trash. I saw a duck mama with her babies trying to get through there one day. So there's a gentleman who actually created a water wheel very similar to this further down and tried it out, and it was working pretty good. So we actually got the money, raised the funds to make this water wheel, and it has been collecting tons and tons of trash after every rainstorm. In here?
Yeah.
So we figured out where we are. It's right about here, right? No, but we just passed the osprey nest, so we are like right about here. Okay.
Cool.
So talking about miles away from the city, this marker is about 1 mile in length. So we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 miles to get to this spot.
5 1/4.
5 1/4. Thank you very much. Yes, exactly.
I'd say 5 and
5 3/10. No.
Yeah,
Anyways.
yeah,
Anyways,
about 5
approximately. Remember, it's about the size of a marker.
5
So
and 2/5.
we're very, very.
Yeah.
So we need to figure out if this area is a healthy area for fish to be. Because what we're going to do right now is we actually want to get out our net and see if there's any life here. But before we do that, let's actually see if we could possibly find life here. So I want you to tell me, what do fish need to live? What do you think?
Water.
Water! Do we have it?
Yes.
We have it! We've got the water. Check. What else do they need?
Don't they need oxygen?
They do need oxygen. Not even kind
Not
of.
a lot of oxygen.
They don't need a lot?
Wait, well,
Do they need a lot?
it's in the water.
Turns out.
Technically in the water because they have gills.
Okay, so everybody go like this for me. I'll do it now one more time. So what did you just do?
Breathe in oxygen.
What's that?
Breathe in oxygen. Inhale oxygen. Inhale oxygen.
Uh-huh.
Exhale from the outside.
Very good. So we just, and what did you use to do that?
Your nose.
Your nose and your mouth, and what else inside of you? Your lungs and your diaphragm, the big muscle here. So, okay, so you just took a deeper, big breath of oxygen and some other atmospheric gases like nitrogen. Where did the oxygen come from that's in the air?
Trees
Trees, would you agree?
and plants.
Yeah, basically any plant, right?
I think trees, they breathe in kind of.
Yeah, they do. They respire.
They breathe in the carbon dioxide and breathe out.
Yep, what is that called when plants make oxygen? Yes, exactly, photosynthesis. So, turns out that there are plants in the water too.
Yeah. Like seaweed.
Like grasses and seaweed and algae. Check it out. Let's see here. I've got a cool picture for you all.
That is a cool one.
I know, I like this one. It tells a story. If you were a fish, what side of this poster would you want to live on? Would you like to live on the side where it says nutrient pollution? Algae use nutrients and grow very rapidly. Algae block the water. Oh man, and then algae die and lead to areas where there is no oxygen. Would you like to live on that side, or would you like to live on the side over here?
That side over there.
There's lots of oxygen. There's just the right amount of algae and nutrients to start off that food chain, right?
And the algae blocks the sunlight.
If there's too much of it, it blocks the sunlight. Oh my gosh, so here's what I want to do. I want to check 2 things out with you. First off, I want to see how much oxygen we got. And then I want to check out, is there a lot of algae here today? Is the water clear enough for there to be plants going down? to be plants growing. So Foster just put it into the water there. Is it all the way in the water?
You see it?
No, I can see the.
You can see the cord?
Oh, am I?
Yeah, I can see the.
Definitely don't do that. Thank you. You almost fell in. If we'd lost you, I'd be very sad.
It would be a bad day.
So was your mother?
So was your mother.
She's got others.
Yeah.
Oh, no one like a my.
Molly, is it?
Me?
Yeah, your name?
Yeah.
I bet you can be loud.
Yeah.
I bet you can be loud. All right, you see that number right there?
Yeah.
I want you to read it nice and loud so everybody on the boat can hear you, okay?
9.38 or 30. Yeah.
Yeah.
38.
Molly!
9.39.
9.38, and that's in milligrams per liter.
That's good.
Is that a good reading?
Yep, that's good.
Yes, it is. What do we want it to be?
You want it to be more than 5.
Exactly. Milligrams per liter. Exactly. So we have it above that. There's plenty of oxygen in this spot. Guess what, though? There's usually lots of oxygen right at the surface of the water. Look around you now. You see the little waves on the surface? All around us, there's air, right? That air is constantly sinking into the water, filling into the water. There's usually plenty of oxygen at the surface. Where we see problems in the Chesapeake Bay are in the deeper waters with low oxygen. Let's just see. The fish aren't living usually right at the surface, are they? Let's see if there's some oxygen down at the bottom here. We can go down 14 feet. That's how deep it is here, 14 feet deep.
Whoa.
Woo!
That's still
So we still have enough oxygen. So it's 9.3,
No.
and then 5 point, what at the bottom?
It's 5.53.
5.5 milligrams per liter. Hey!
5.51. Never mind, sorry.
That's okay, I got 5.5 there, perfect. There is plenty of oxygen down there. It did go down though, didn't it? So you can imagine if we were in deeper water, it would keep going down. And so, fortunately, most of the bay is very shallow. Who's my tallest person on the boat here?
Me.
Norma, probably.
I'm 5'10".
Yeah, okay. So Norma could almost walk 80% of the bay without getting the top of her head wet.
Wow.
For serious?
For serious. The bay.
Try it today.
So Norma's gonna go out there.
Ready to jump in, Norma?
No.
You can walk back.
After the arms are pushing her.
But about 80% of the bay is only 6 feet deep or less. The bay is super shallow. So when you think about the bay, you think about the shallowness, that means that lots of that sunlight can get down to the bottom, making those grasses grow. So that's a positive thing, but check it out. This is the Chesapeake Bay watershed. Look how huge the land is. We're right up here on the Patapsco.
So that means our stream's like one of those.
Yeah, this is your river. This is you right here. Yeah. So we're all part of this watershed. All this land is draining into this relatively shallow and small body of water, which means a lot of that pollution can get concentrated and make some problems for us. But today, we're actually seeing a very good thing. We're seeing plenty of oxygen in this water here, so let's hope to find some fish in our water. Does that sound good? Great. If we have time, when we get ready to go oystering, we'll do one other test. It's about the clarity of the water. But I want to make sure we have time to go fishing, because, I mean, that's what we want to see what's out
Way
there.
more important.
Way more important. Way more fun. So, Foster, what are we going to be doing here?
That's an excellent question, Jocelyn. So do you guys remember I asked you this morning, am I about to pull out a bunch of fishing poles?
No.
No, and I said, does anyone remember why I
Yeah,
said?
because if we put it on like 20 seconds, the eyeballs would be poked out.
And
When we go back.
here's the other thing. What is a fishing pole designed to catch? What's a fishing pole designed to catch? Yeah, fish, right? Here's the deal. We want to be more scientific. We want to be as scientific as we possibly can. So have you guys seen Finding Nemo?
And we catch them while they're like kind of still alive.
What? Yeah. So
Right.
So you guys know that net in Finding Nemo?
We're not being a fish. Oh yeah.
We have a net very similar. It looks like a giant ice cream cone. So if you look at Miss Jocelyn's drawing, it has a really big opening, and it funnels down all the way to a very skinny end. So the reason this is more scientific is because we're going to catch anything and everything, right? So sometimes we catch nothing. Sometimes we catch nothing. Sometimes we catch a bunch of stuff. Sometimes we catch a tire, right? Whatever's in the path of that net, we're going to catch it. So it's a better way to scientifically sample the water. as opposed to like a crab pot or a fishing pole. We want to catch anything and everything. Yeah.
Is it catching or releasing, or are we gonna kill a fish?
That's an excellent
Yeah,
question.
it's a good question.
Do you think some people use a net like this to catch fish to sell them to make money?
No, they usually get fishing poles. Oh, yeah.
Well, some people do. Not in this area, but in the ocean, they have nets just like this that are big enough, I've heard,
Yep.
to fit the Eiffel Tower in.
I've heard
So-
Statue of Liberty, Eiffel Tower's about the same size, right? Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
I have no
but,
It's big.
yeah. Ours is very small, but we can use it through the state of Maryland. Both Jocelyn and I apply to the Department of Natural Resource to get scientific collection permits. So we can use the net when most people can't, but we have to release everything, and we also have to write it down and tell them what we catch.
Wait, where did you get the fish that's over there?
So you want to do this, Lizzie, for me? I'll give it to you when we're done actually catching the fish, right? And then you can actually help me write them down.
So why do you guys think the state of Maryland wants to know what we're catching? Why is that important?
Because what if you're catching stuff like illegal or something like that?
Yeah, maybe so. That's a good thought.
Maybe we could like discover species.
Maybe we can discover a species. Maybe we catch a nutria that's not supposed to be here, right? Whatever we're doing today is really important science, and the state of Maryland will use that to help with the health of the Patapsco River. It's really important stuff, which is pretty cool.
How many of you had the same exact thing to eat for lunch as the next person next to you? Everybody ate something different, didn't they? Fish. Do they all eat the same exact thing?
No,
They eat different things. Some fish eat plants. Some eat plankton, like you were saying, plankton. Some eat other big fish. They all eat different things. So if we find lots of different types of fish, that tells us there's lots of different types of food, biodiversity, lots of different types of life. It means it's really healthy. I was asking, do you think we'll catch plankton? The net is very big, so we can catch certain types of plankton. Did you know jellyfish are considered plankton? Really? Anything that cannot propel itself through the water. So basically, free-floating organisms are plankton. Part of the fish right here is called the swim bladder. And that's what the fish uses to regulate its buoyancy in the water. So when it wants to go down deep, it pushes out some of the oxygen or air in it so it can sink. And then when it wants to come up, it brings in some more oxygen so it floats better. So if we get in fish, we pull them up off the bottom kind of suddenly. So all of a sudden they're out of that pressure of the water and their swim bladder inflates, and then they can't really control their buoyancy. So they will look a little wacky when they get on the boat. They will look a little, yeah, and they're not dead though.
Yeah, they're not dead. What do they look like?
And they're not sleeping. They look like this.
If we catch them.
If we catch any. Yeah. One more time, Marty. Yeah, do it again.
Go, girls.
Look at that. Good work. Good work.
We need an old shanty song.
When I say heave, you say ho! Heave, ho! Heave, ho! When I say Chesapeake, you say bay! Chesapeake! Bay! Chesapeake! Bay! Chesapeake! Bay! Nice! When I say Salem, you say Lutheran Church! Salem! Lutheran Church! Salem! Lutheran Church! Here we go. Looking good. Hey guys, I'm so sorry. I don't think we caught anything. Except for these 6 fish.
Got you so good. Burn. Go ahead, pass it around, take a look at it. Don't touch it for me right now. We might have a chance to pick them up in a little bit. We'll just let them adjust to the tank life for a hot second.
What do you want to name him?
And we got some
Well,
biodiversity,
there's more
Foster.
than 6.
Is there more than 6?
Yeah.
1, 2,
Nice.
3, 4, 5, 6. Can I bring the fish home?
Oh my gosh, we even have a dead jellyfish.
Oh, where?
That's my first one for the season. My first dead fish.
Jellyfish?
Here you go, put your hand out.
That's a dead I don't want to hold it.
No, we're not going to sting you.
Oh, that is
It looks like a bunch of snot.
Who wants to hold it?
Nice job, Foster.
That's so cool. No, I know. Okay. You really inhabit
buddy.
He's a little stunned.
A little stunned.
A little stunned.
That's a good word for it.
He's trying to adjust.
I guess I would be too if I was like dragged aboard an alien ship and
He's stunned
There
right
you go, put your
now.
jellyfish in there, see what it looks like.
Whoa. Ew. It looks like throw up.
It looks like slime.
It definitely does
feels
not
like
have
a
much
big
form
ball
anymore.
sack.
So it might be a winter jellyfish that died, or it might have been a bigger jellyfish that maybe got shredded in the net.
It's really interesting.
It feels really cool too. So that's kind of neat.
It's not dead.
It's in shock.
It's not dead yet.
This one's in shock too.
Okay, go ahead and find a seat.
Spamalot.
Don't sit.
We're gonna put all the fish over there. There we go.
I'm just in shock. He's starting to get it.
10, do you want me to start this slowly?
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah. Yeah, I'm good. Good. Thanks, Foster.
So that's what I wish.
Look at these beautiful fish that we got. Oh my gosh, big ones too. These are some of the biggest ones we caught all season. And one of my favorites. Okay, let's bring over that other little fish over here, Leah.
And the dead jellyfish.
Put it right in the middle there. Oh, and the jellyfish.
Oh, no, I spilled. Can I hold it? I spilled some of his water. I'm not taking him out anymore. What? You don't take him out. Oh, look at his spike. I spilled some of his Damn good.
So for our tanks that have the larger fish, what am I putting in here?
Putting in oxygenation.
Exactly. I want to provide them with extra oxygen because they're a little stressed, so they're breathing heavier.
Yeah, I
And
helped it. Look, it's swimming now. I helped it.
yeah, so it looks like we've got some pretty cool fish. What I'm going to have you all do is, if you want, you can touch them, pick them up. But here's my one rule. Listen, girls, listen up before you start jumping in there. Hey, Molly, go ahead and put it in the tank real quick so you can listen with your full. Okay, great. So everybody can have a chance to touch the fish if you'd like. I just ask that we don't have any more than one hand in the tank at a time. And do you know how to pick up the fish gently? Can you show us?
Yeah, you like.
Great.
Oh, you have to hold it over the.
Yes, and she didn't really take it out of the water.
Yeah.
Leave them basically in the water, but you can pick them up and check them out. And I'll put out some identification guides. We can try to figure out what we actually caught, if you don't already know, right? Okay, great. Check them out. Oh, and they do have spikes. This is their dorsal fin, so that's why you look underneath of them.
Freaking me out. Yeah.
Start with the small one first. If you're See if you can figure out what types of fish we got.
This one is shimmer.
Shimmer.
Oh, they're naming them.
I like it. The
I'm
fish.
scared. I keep slipping out. Once I get
Oh my god!
Come here.
That's a fast one, huh?
Oh my gosh!
It must not like me. Oh my gosh. It's tickling me.
Are we getting a chance to do everything that you wanted to do today so far?
Oh, yeah.
I've never been a big fan of fish. I love fish. I don't think it.
They're a nice
Or
group.
maybe I'll change the name to Slippers. Can I see it? No. He's slippery. Hey, you're not in water out.
Specimen.
It's gonna be left with 0% water. Look, watch the jellyfish really like.
Let's go ahead and put that one fish that was by itself in this tank now. Give him some more space. There we go, little buddy.
Fishy boo.
There we go. And I want you, this is perfect. I want you to compare these two fish and figure out if they're the same fish or
I
not.
think they're different because this one is longer and has more. Oh, this is a piece of.
Okay.
I think these are the same size, but this one's like longer and thinner. Yeah, the big one is really scary. That one? No, that one. Oh gosh, this is Big Bob. He's spicy.
Bob. I love
Big
it.
Bob.
Big Bob.
Big ball.
Big Bob. I wouldn't bring that.
And this is the fish that Foster and I found earlier today. See if it's the same type of fish as the ones that you all have in your tanks that we just caught.
I don't think so. It's just baby piranha.
Feel the difference between the water temperature.
Oh gosh!
Oh, this is way more.
Way warmer. It was in the sunlight. Warmer water can't hold as much oxygen. That's another problem why we have so much oxygen problems in the summertime. Warmer water doesn't hold as much oxygen, colder water does. That's why most of our oxygen problems happen in the summertime in the bay. This one's loving the habitat in here, place to hide, seems more calm than the other fish.
Are any of these salmon?
I don't know.
No, they're all striped bass.
They're all striped bass.
One of them is not.
No, one of them isn't, but most.
Let's look at them all. Let's see if we can figure it out. So let's look at this guy. Let's look at his shape. Oh, look at that one line going across his body. So check it out. That fish, yes, that's our lateral line. What does it do, Marley? Do you know?
Lateral line. Jeez, I get confused. It helps it with direction.
Yeah, it helps them feel and sense other things in the water. It's like their sixth sense. Each of this, along that, there's tiny holes that have little hairs in them that can feel water pressure changes. So when you hold him underneath his body. You don't want to pinch him on his side, okay?
This one's
just like that, perfect. And then just let him go after you touch him for a little while. Yeah, perfect.
What should we name the really tiny one? Or little friend?
Check out this one.
I'm not get used to the
Do these two look similar?
Little friend. Everyone is I think so.
And then look at this one.
Come here, big Bob.
What do you think? Look at this one.
Hello, big Bob.
Do they look similar?
Yeah.
So what kind is this one?
I think it's a white perch.
Yeah, so most of them are white perch. We only have one striped bass on the boat, and that's this little one right here.
Oh, he's a striped bass. Oh, he's so cute.
There will be a CBF prize awarded to whoever can figure out the maximum size of the white perch and the maximum size of the striped bass. You can look on these identification sheets. They might help.
What's the prize?
It's a surprise.
The maximum size for an adult is 48 inches. I mean 48 centimeters
for white perch.
and 1.6 feet. For
So white perch, largest size is 1.6 feet.
And a striped bass would be.
Oh, she still hasn't found the striped bass. I think Leah had it first there, Molly.
Oh, found it. Maximum adult length approach is 6 feet. Female grow larger and live longer, about 30 years than males. Fish that are 3 feet long weigh about 21 pounds, and maximum are about 11 years old. This is about the maximum size and age for males.
Okay, so for striped bass, they can actually get up to be about the same size as Miss Norma.
Wow.
Can you imagine seeing a fish that tall or big? Right?
No.
I mean, gosh, that's so cool. 6 feet long.
you wanna hold this
Foster, what's the biggest striped bass you've ever caught?
Oh, yeah. So you can't tell us a fish story?
Yeah, right. I used to know a guy, he only had one arm and he caught a fish this big.
I just feel like I want to leave her in the water because
Is it less stressful for them?
Yes. Sorry.
So this guy's one of the ones we caught. So did we catch some biodiversity, different types of fish today?
Yep.
Yeah, a little bit.
Part of a jellyfish.
Oh yes, that's right. So we actually caught
Just
three.
plankton.
Right, exactly. We caught 3 different species today, which is a pretty good sign. Ideally, on the Patapsco, if it was a healthy river, we could find 10 or more different species. That's including plants and other things we could find. Wow, look at your
I
face.
deal with the real mucus like that.
I went to Bloodworth and Sean was just trying to get us through the guts and he's like, I was just tossing, and Lehman, my husband was with me and he's like, he loves fishing, right? So he tosses out his fishing rod. He's like trying so hard, he's really excited. We got caught on something in Havre de Grace and it was huge, whatever it was. Like the net wouldn't get caught underneath. Yes, I know, that's a big fear.
A lot more than John, which is why I'm talking.
That's fine, that's fine.
No, it's not. It's Miss Mary and Miss Louise. We're over here trying to restress.
I've got something kind of neat here, and this might be more interesting to the adults than the students, but hopefully the students find it interesting too. So, sometimes when you go fishing, you might be like, I want to go eat this fish. If it's legal size and if it's okay to keep it, right? If you have a fishing license, you can possibly eat them. We aren't allowed to keep any of these because of the permit that we use and the type of method that we use to catch them. But let's just say, for example, this perch looks pretty good size. We want to take him home and eat him. So what I'm going to do up in here is I'm going to look up white perch. This is from the Department of Natural Resources. It's called the Maryland Fish Consumption Advisories List. And I found white perch. Then we're going to find where we caught it. What river are we on?
We are on the Patapsco?
Yeah, so let's find the Patapsco River on here. Here it is, Patapsco River. Okay, so then we're gonna slide over here, and it tells us how many we can eat without the possibility of getting sick or getting some sort of heavy metal in our body that could potentially give us even cancer. So it says we could eat 1 serving of white perch every other month.
Oh my God.
Wow.
That's pretty bad.
Guess what?
Other month.
Every other month, one. Now, out of the Patuxent River to compare, you could eat 8 servings every month.
Wow, that's how much pollution.
That's what the
So that's Patuxent. Patuxent's a relatively healthy river, lots of wetlands around it. So it just gives you an idea of how an urban river, and this type of fish is a good example because the white perch lives its entire life in whatever river you found it in. So these are Patapsco-born, raised, living fish. Unlike this guy that's struggling, we're gonna let it go, the rockfish. Goodbye, little buddy.
Bye-bye.
And he is swimming away. Yay! So the rockfish, Foster, how's the rockfish's life cycle compared to the white perch? Where does it go? Where does it mate?
That's a good question. So, white perch stays in here his whole life. Do you think the rockfish does too? What do you guys think? Yeah, the rockfish are big time migrators. They'll migrate hundreds, if not thousands of miles out of the bay into the ocean, spend part of their life there, come back into the bay, all the way up to Havre de Grace and up these rivers to lay eggs and go back out. They migrate a lot depending on the time of year and the temperature. So very different compared to lots of other fishes.
So let's look up striped bass in here and see how it compares. Does that sound good? You can eat 1 serving per month. If it's less than 28 inches, you can eat 3 servings per month. And that's in all the Chesapeake Bay tributaries and rivers. And that's because they migrate, so it's not going to be as specific to rivers, right? Why do you think the smaller ones you could eat more of them?
More of them?
What's that?
There are more of them?
Less meat.
Less meat.
Well, they haven't lived long enough to accumulate as many heavy metals.
Check it. That's exactly right, Julia. So everybody, look around us here. One of the things I really enjoy about working on the Patapsco River is that you can point to the sources of pollution. So check out over here. Right in front of our boat, that is a coal-fired power plant. So one of the sources Foster was talking about was air pollution, of nutrient pollution going into our water. Also heavy metals coming into our waterways from places like that. Over here. Anybody know what that piece of land is there? Huge steel manufacturing place at one point. Sparrows Point. Yeah, Bethlehem Steel, Sparrows Point area.
Take it all down.
And they are, they're no longer doing any of that work over there. It's kind of in flux right now. Chesapeake Bay Foundation is actually involved in a lawsuit over there, making sure that that's actually cleaned up. Whoever's going to own it next, they want to make sure it's getting cleaned up. So, source of pollution there. We just passed a wastewater treatment plant over there. So poop and pee, not directly most of the time, but sometimes directly poop and pee gets into our water, especially on heavy rainstorms, because the pipes overflow. So, wow. So would you want to eat these fish?
No.
Probably not. And so the smaller fish, they aren't living long enough to accumulate as much of the pollution in their bodies, like Julia was saying. The larger fish, it's not quite as, they have a lot more time to bioaccumulate in their system all these pollutions. In general, do these fish look pretty healthy?
Yes.
Okay, so when we talk to the Department of Natural Resources, when you write it down, what we caught today, you can say they looked healthy, okay? So what we're gonna do now is we're actually gonna let our fish go unless anybody has any other questions or...
Can we help?
Yes, you can help. Let's take out our bubblers. 1, 2, 3.
Bye, Mr. Tim. Bye, Mr. Dave.
Did you say bye, Mr. Dave?
Yes, that's the name.
And then they'll turn into this jellyfish-looking tree. And then the tree will do something called strobilate. It'll strobilate and leave off, and then these little individual things will become the jellyfish that we know of. It goes through it sexually reproduces and it asexually buds. It's really wild.
A lot of people think they leave or migrate, like the stinging nettles and stuff. They stay here all year round. They never leave.
Yeah, isn't that wild? Different stages of life. Yeah, that's different stages, yeah. Well, everyone, we've crossed under the Key Bridge. You can see the city in the background straight behind us that way. It's Fort McHenry. You can kind of see the green of Fort McHenry.
Oh, yeah.
But this here is another fort, Fort Carroll. never saw any wars, except during the Civil War. They used it as a prisoner of war camp for the Southern troops. They never finished completion of it. It was supposed to be like 4 stories high. They never finished it. Privately owned. Are you okay? Oh my gosh, I whopped you with that. Sorry, sweetie. It's privately owned by a family today. And that family actually at one point wanted to turn it into a casino and do all sorts of wacky things with it. Yes. But fortunately, it's just a bird sanctuary today. And all the birds love it there, so we're going to go a little bit closer, and that's where we're actually going to be going oystering. There's oysters and an oyster sanctuary reef all around the island there, so Foster's going to take us over there, and we'll be able to find what this oyster reef looks like. It's a sanctuary reef, so it should look pretty healthy, ideally. We'll see what we find. Anything white on there is probably bird poop.
So it's all bird poop.
Yeah.
It was not that.
White last time?
Yeah.
I can't even say it twice.
Can't do it once.
I can barely say it once. Ready? Okay. Not that version, but that was really good. I liked that. I got a fishy feeling. These oysters do not make pearls. This species is Chrysostria virginica, American oyster. They don't make pearls. Foster is from Virginia originally. He takes great pride in his home state. VA. So ours kind of don't make the pearls that are pretty. We might see some bumps on the inside of the shell that are kind of like pearls, but not like the real thing. What we're hoping to do is catch some oysters in our net, and we typically have pretty good luck with this, just because oysters don't swim. So we usually just have to drag it over top where we know they are, and hopefully we get them in our net. I'm hoping that as a group, you all can help me with something. I got these cards the other day, and they're all about how oysters live. But I don't know what order they go in. And I'm having a hard time figuring it out. So I was hoping if I give you each a card, you can help me figure out what order they go in. Can you help me? Okay, I'm gonna give you that one to start. See if we can figure out how these oysters go about doing their life, how they do their thing. And give everybody over here. Okay. So read your card, and let's figure out how they all connect to each other.
Oh, I know how ours connects. I know how ours connects.
Okay.
It's like the oyster.
Check with everybody. Make sure you see what you all have. Compare.
Okay, so what's yours? So ours connects. So I think it's like this. Okay, so mine's like a baby oyster.
Mine's the very before.
Okay, so mine is how
This is before they even get anything. All right. Oh, all right. You could lay them all out here. That's good.
Okay, yeah. Let's see if we can make kind of like a timeline of events here.
Yeah.
Go that way.
Is that one first?
I'm not sure.
Leah, you thinking that one's first?
Oh yeah, this one's that.
Okay. Okay, let's see if this is right. Okay, I'm gonna read them. When the water gets to about 74 degrees in the spring, let's see what temperature it is. 69 degrees, we're not quite there yet.
Not quite.
When the water gets to 74 degrees in spring, the female oysters clamp out their eggs, and the male oysters release their sperm. The oysters and the egg sperm meet in the water above the oysters, and they're just floating around. And then they form to make a little larvae.
Oh, it's so cute.
And these larvae move up and down in the water, eating tiny plants. Eating tiny plants. I like this. Okay. After drifting around the water for about 2 weeks, the oyster larvae mature and grow a foot. That foot can taste calcium carbonate of other oyster shells. So it tastes around. I found another oyster and then it attaches. 1, 2, 3, attach! That's really hard to do.
Stay like that the rest of the day. That's the rule.
You had pretty good balance though. So once they're attached, then they start to filter, open up their shells, and they filter the water. And they bring in some algae. That's what they eat. All day long is algae. Except in the winter months. In the winter months they just sleep. So they are just major filtering machines. And out there also providing habitat, like Foster was saying. So let's see what we actually got. Let's go ahead and form a line on this side of the boat this time. Thank you all for helping me with that. You got it perfect. Oh man, we got some oysters.
Oh, it has another rolling thing to help us. That's good.
Pass that back, pass that back. It's heavy, I know. Oysters are heavier than fish. Pass it back.
We can tell.
Nice job.
Proud of you guys. Look at that. Look at that work.
Woohoo!
I say oysters, you say no. Oysters!
Yum!
Oysters!
Yum! Oh, sorry. Oh!
Sorry.
Should be right beside there.
People have eaten oysters? More now because Louise won't.
Keep it up, guys. I'm so proud of you. You're doing good. Keep it up.
Heave! Oh! Heave! Oh!
So proud of you. Keep it up. Keep it up.
Let go. Okay. Okay, Foster needs our help. 1, 2, 3. Oh, nice! And drop the rope. Woo! And find a seat real quick. I'm gonna pull this. I'm gonna pull this forward here. Man, that is a hole.
He's coming out right there.
Yes, yeah. That is good, Foster. That's way more than Captain John finds.
They don't really have brains. Like,
They don't. They have this thing called a ganglia, but it's really just a bunch of nerve fibers.
So they really don't have any feelings.
Oh, can somebody put this chart away for me? Thank you, dear. I do need some water again. Do you want to get one of those buckets again? All sorts of cool things.
Hey, Jocelyn, there's a muscle here. Should I pull that off or?
No. Thank you. The muscle, it attaches to the oyster with these little threads that come out of his stomach. So if you pull it off the shell, it's like pulling out his stomach. It'll kill him. So yeah, so we're gonna pretty much leave everything intact, except if you find, here we go. Quick question, quiz. Is this a live oyster?
No, it's dead.
How do you know it's dead?
Doesn't have anything in it.
Doesn't have it,
And it has nothing.
Oysters are bivalves and it only has one shell. How about this one though? What about this one though?
This one looks alive. No, it's dead because
It's also
it
dead.
still doesn't have
So if it's dead, you're gonna. If it's, you guys are too smart. You're gonna put them in there if they're dead. If they are looking like this one, oh, now this one. 2 shells. Alive?
But you can see.
Yes. Wait, no. No, because it's open. It has to be closed all the way.
So when they're out of the water, oysters aren't gonna be like, hi, how's it going? No, they're gonna be like tightly closed, and there's certainly not gonna be a hole in the top, is there? So they're gonna be tightly closed because they wanna hold in all the water because they breathe with gills that are inside their shell. So, but we don't. But this could be a really cool spot. If I was a fish, I would totally want to put some eggs in there or hide. So look inside. Don't pull them apart though, because that's a good habitat. Again, if they're alive, you're gonna take them
Put them in the water.
and take them over here and rinse them off in that first tank,
Look at the muscles on
and then go to place them in that second tank. Go ahead, Marley. And then if they're dead, just put them in this bucket. Go ahead, check them out. Get in there. There is a lot of clusters of oysters. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Wow! Look at that!
Wow, that's really nice.
You found a worm?
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a big worm. That is like, you know what? Foster loves to hold these and see if they bite him. Pass it over to Foster.
It's one of my favorite.
And it's alive.
It's a big one though.
I know, that's what I was saying. It's like Foster likes to see if they
You have a
bite.
little critter tank?
I do, yeah.
Why do you want to see if they bite? What if they do bite?
They really do bite, some of the big worms.
Really?
Yeah, they do. They have this proboscis that shoots out. I had one little girl that didn't believe me. I was like, you can hold it and see. And she's like, okay. She's holding it and she's like just talking to somebody else and she's like,
If you lost
ah! I started to bite her.
Have you ever fished with like a bloodworm? They, yeah, they'll bite.
Wow, and he's got, you can see this one now.
Yeah.
Oh, look, there's another one. Another worm.
Close.
Yeah.
Are these really worms?
Oh, look! A little shrimpy thing. Here. Oh. Ma, you want to put that in the...
Yucky stuff is awesome.
Did I get it? Oh, no, it's still in the shell. It's
I like
shaking
mine.
off in that little critter tank that Foster has.
Foster, look, I found a little I
They're right when you find.
to snip. Ooh, this one looks weird. Is this an oyster?
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't know. What's it has muscle on it?
It does have a muscle on it.
What's this?
Does it have two shells like this?
I don't know. What's this?
No, not really. It's just I think it's just some sort of piece of rubble from the fort.
What's this?
What is it? Oh, that's cool. This is some sort of snail creature that I do not know what it is, and I don't know if Foster knows.
Oh, cool.
It has a single kind of softest shell, but it moves like a snail does.
Jocelyn doesn't know what it is. Foster doesn't know what it is.
I really don't. I've been seeing it. It moves just slowly like that.
Hey, really?
Yes.
So it
It's
looks-
not a
looks like
flatworm. It's not like a.
Oh,
Do you know what that is?
what are those?
Limpet?
Yes.
I don't think it's a limpet.
Yeah.
It's got a different. It doesn't have that hard
Be in
shell.
that family though.
Maybe.
Yeah, if you look closely, there should be some.
It looks like it's a shell or something.
Really?
Found a rock.
I think that's. Oh, you know what that was? That was a barnacle. It's not alive anymore.
Oh, that's cool. There's a worm on it already.
Oh, cool! Nice. You can put that right in there. Because what we'll do is we'll get a little bit closer to the island again, and then we'll toss in the rest of the shell.
Yeah.
So would it be safe to eat the oysters from this area or not?
Well,
Talking about that.
maybe it's on our list of things. I don't know if they might be. But I don't know about safety, but I know that with flavor, it would be.
That would be bad.
Because
nasty.
saltier the better. Those things on there, those are scars from where the barnacles used to be attached. A crab!
Or the worm.
Worms! Yay! Whoa.
We did it.
We're always excited when we find neat things. Actually, there were a bunch of crabs, and I caught crabs this morning too. You should pull it down.
Yeah, you can pick them off these.
We're gonna need a bigger boat. Check this out. Come here. See that thing right there?
Oh my gosh.
What is it? Do you know what it
Is
is?
it the oyster itself? Or is it a mussel?
No.
Worm?
No. So, have you ever seen Finding Nemo?
Yes.
You know how he lives in those things?
Oh yeah.
That is a bay anemone. So these are the kind of things that Finding Nemo lives in, except the ones Nemo lives in are huge, like the size of my hands.
Oh my gosh.
So these are anemones.
Look at that.
Aren't they cool? Hey everybody, we have some anemones in this tank that are attached to some oysters. So you can check them out. They're really all out. It's really cool. Leave the fish be, sweetie. We don't want to stress them out, but just check out these oysters here and check out these anemones. See them all?
Is that?
That looks like a mussel. That's and the barnacles. Look, the barnacles moving. See that?
Dancing barnacles. Look at that. That's dancing barnacles.
The barnacles out here filtering too.
They're dancing barnacles.
Do you see that, Lizzie? This barnacle filter?
Yeah.
Oh, I scared
Dancing
it.
barnacles.
You didn't scare it, probably. So the female has a little sponge on her belly. That's her eggs. So these are mature crabs. These aren't babies. These are the oldest. These are like the size that they get. These are mud crabs. So you can go put them in the tank over there. Hurry, they crawl out. Put them in the little tank that your other
Hold on.
friend has there.
2 more crabs.
Repeat after me. Oysters filter.
Oysters filter.
50 gallons
50 gallons.
per oyster per day.
Per day.
Say good luck.
Good luck.
Go make some babies oysters.
Go make some babies oysters.
Give them a kiss. Wow, she really did it. And then toss them in. Bye-bye, oysters. You can dump in this whole thing too. Dump in the whole container. We have oyster sanctuaries now, and a lot of research. I was talking to somebody about the research we've been doing on the rivers to try to bring them back too. So a lot of positive things are happening. We are seeing that a lot of the oysters are becoming more resilient to some of the diseases that were also introduced to the bay. So some very positive things happening with oysters, but they're still very much in harm's way from pollution coming off the land, affecting their habitat.
Metalwormy.
Yeah, worms, crabs. Lots of biodiversity on this oyster reef for sure.